Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lee. This is Reef Explained. Today we're going to be doing a video on what it takes to run this tank. Anyone that's new to the channel and you like the content, please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe. That'll really help me out with keeping these videos alive and obviously bringing them out more frequently, which I'm trying to do now. So this is a RedSea E-260, 69 gallons if you're new, or 260 litres. It's an all-in-one system, which means the filtration's in the back of the system originally, but I've upgraded with the RedSea plumbing kit and the sump below, so it is now a full reef system with filtration in the bottom for my heaters, my wave makers, my skimmers. What else have I got? I've got a reactor, UV sterilizer, and a roller mat as I took out the filter socks. So this is just to talk about what's involved and some things to think about if you're going to get a reef tank, or if you're getting one of these RedSea tanks, things to take into consideration. So when you get the tank itself, it will be stocked with some plugs where the extension plugs are, so you can obviously plug your equipment into, and these are two-prong European I believe connections, and I'll show you them now, and they worked great for some of my equipment that has these two-prong adapters, and obviously the RedSea stock LED 90s on top there plug into this bar as well. Let me just take you on that bit. So underneath the hood, the man side of all of it is here. So you'll get this panel here with all the switches that are plastic coated, that you know with so there's a reef safe. You can turn off what's what, and originally they're labeled up as what they need to be. You can just put anything in there. The actual bar is above, and they're two-prong. You can't really see them that well, but there is a bunch back here. I've got one thing plugged into there because I don't have many of these plugs that I can use. So I had to upgrade to a power strip with some USB-C and obviously these adapters here. I can't remember what they're called. Sorry. So this is running eight switches plus some cameras, and this works really well. And it's something to take in consideration that all the equipment that you can be running on your reef tank, you'll need more switches than you can think of. This is on one circuit. This is on another circuit, so running the lights and a reactor, and we have two more switches at the back there that are running the thermal view by Reef Factory, so it's the display, and the RedSea doser. Coming back out of this now, so it's always handy to have a unit that's hidden away that you can put all of your gear into, and this is really for my testing and day-to-day things that I'll be using. So if we just open these up, so you can see, and this is pretty much most of it, but I have a bunch of other stuff for the RO systems and stuff like that. So currently what we've got is up on the left here, we are running with the KH buffer by Aquaforest, powdered form, and this is how I mix my alkalinity up. I just basically dose as per the amounts. I dose 80 millimeters, 80 kg into my 1000 millimeters or 1 litre bottle of RO, and mix that up, and then I dump that into my containers for my dosing. And we've got a spare one there. We've got calcium as well, and we'll do the same with that. That's running at 50 grams, sorry, I should have said for both of these. So 80 grams on the alkalinity and 50 grams on the calcium for the 1 litre of RO water. I just use a simple Evian 1 litre bottles, mark them up, and then they never get mixed. So that's running that. Magnesium, I'm running pure liquid from Reef Flowers, I believe it is. And that works really well because I'm using less of that, so I don't really have to touch that, and that lasts me forever. We've got some Reef Mat 500 rolls. I've got a bunch of these in the back, but these are lasting me now. They were lasting me about 8 weeks, and I've turned the roller mat down to the lowest possible setting. That means that less water is being dumped into the sump over the ATO line. And this is better for me because it's just rolling out what needs to be rolled out, and obviously not rolling out too much at a time. So this should last me around 10 weeks per roll. We've got magnesium, nitrate and calcium on Aquaforest. I bought these to try them out. They're really high-end kits, but to be honest with you, the instructions are quite hard to read on the paper. They're in like purple writing, very small, and they're a bit more pricey. Would I recommend them? Yes, but it would be my go-to, unfortunately. I am sticking with some other test kits that I'll run through for you. We have some other test kits down here. You won't really be able to see them that well, so I'm just going to pull these reagents out just so you can see them. So my trusted ones are alkalinity. We're using Hannah Checker. We've got a phosphate one here, and we've got a nitrate one here. And these really are my go-to daily drivers. And we've got some reagents here. We've got phosphate, it's the low range, and then we've got the nitrate tests. The phosphate is, I believe they're around 25 tests you get in here, 25. They do quite well on price, about 11 to 13 pounds. These nitrate ones are quite expensive. The 25 tests, I think they're 25 pounds, so it's about a pound a test. But I really do one test a week, so they last me. And we've got the alkalinity reagent as well. This is really well priced, about £8-9 on average, and that lasts me quite a while, maybe a couple of months or more. We've got some testing for the salinity, so we've got a refractometer. This is really cool, this one. This is from a company that I buy in the UK called Crack and Corals, and it's really well done. It's got a little light on here, so you can see straight through with a little pipette, so that's cool. And then I've got a digital one as well, this one here. It's been doing really well. Comes with the solution, it's pretty accurate, so I use both of these each time I'm doing a mix on the salt. We've got a TDS meter. You can buy these from Amazon. They're really inexpensive. This one I like because it's got a lit up display. You can see that 0, and then you can change that, and you can hold it when you want the reading, and then you hold it down to turn it off. I like this one a lot. We've got a pH pen in here. It's just a simple Amazon one, just to back up my refactory. So we've got a few bits and pieces in here. This is a solution that I've mixed up for the pen. We've got a little funnel back here. Going over to this side, the NIOS is my go-to on carbon. The kind of pellets, the bigger pellets. It's really well priced. I think this is about £14 for a litre. It lasts me quite a while. I'm changing out carbon maybe every 2 to 3 weeks on a reactor. On the RedSea underneath the roller mat, there's a bag that you can put in. I change that every couple of months because it's kind of passive over the top of it, and I can't always get to that, so that's what we're running there. We've got some Roa Phos in case my phosphates get out of control, and I really try not to use too much of this, maybe a little bit at a time, in a little bag and inside the reactor, so it doesn't leach out into the system. And then we've got all of our RedSea roller mats. When I bought the unit, I went crazy and bought like 15 of these, thinking they would last maybe like 4, 5, 6 weeks, and they're lasting a lot better. And I've stocked up on these, knowing that I'm stuck with this unit, and if the price ever goes up, at least I've got a bunch backed up for that. We're going on to some Brightwell refractometer calibration, so that's always handy to have. So I keep that on hand, maybe just check the dates and things like that on them. We're dosing Reef Elements by manganese for my Alvapora and Gonapora, which I've touched ground on before. We're doing the Trace Elements by Elos, which is really good. And then we're dosing some phosphates and nitrates where needed, and we've got the reagents for the pH meter to calibration mode if needed. Taking a look underneath, we have the Flipper medium-sized algae scrubber. These are pretty good. I would be careful, they have scratched my glass. Obviously, you know, getting too close to the sand bed, or sand gets trapped in between. Yes, would I buy one? Yes, they're very expensive. I wouldn't buy another one now that I've bought one. Just simple reason being is that it's done its job, and I have a algae scrubber on a pad on a stick, and that does very well as well. You can buy them, and I think they're a lot cheaper than buying this. I think this is quite expensive for what it is, really, personally. I've got a backup like a pump for oxygen, old school. They're rechargeable, and you can set it on delayed like mode. This was like from Amazon as a backup result in case my power was to ever go out, to get some oxygen to the tanks. I just feed some flake food from time to time, but usually this is fed on a feeder when I'm away from the tank. So I try not to feed this too much. We've got some cleaner for the glass, but just be careful what you're using. I try not to spray anything near the tank itself. And then my favorite test kits I'm currently using that are reliable and cheap are the Salifert test kits. We've got calcium, we've got nitrate, we've got another calcium here, we've got magnesium, alkalinity, we got some phosphate, and we have some silicate. At some point I had some issues with silicate, and that's been resolved, so it's great. We got some API test kits here. Don't let anyone fool you. These are really good, and they're very inexpensive for what they are, and they last forever. Just check the dates, because obviously you don't want to use anything that's out of date. But yeah, for starting your reef tank, for watching the nitrate and ammonia change, definitely get an API test reef kit. Well worth the money personally, and always good to back them up with usage on those. So behind the kitchen door, I've made space of this little nook area that's very convenient with a cupboard, and we got the RedSea salt here, as I said before, the blue bucket with the 60 litre container, mixing container, that's was well worth buying something big enough to hold that. And then I just dropped some pumps into that unit itself, and this is a container for the RO to top up my reservoir with. The cupboard is nothing special, it's just been tidied up recently. We got some reverse osmosis filters that we can change out with on hand. You should always have them. These are my just simple containers marked up for calcium. I've got another one for alkalinity there. We've got a little red bucket that we can carry some media around in. We've got some scrubbing brushes, a little net, pipette, TDS meters, some sponges only for the tank, cloths. We got the tubing for the water change. We got some grabbers at the back here, which are amazing to get the coral and pick things, shells, dead things out of the tank. So that's great. We got some floss that we use from time to time when we're back siphoning into the socks for the vacuum tube that's in here. and then I just run a little extension lead here, keep it off the floor because you're always going to spill some water. So basically just click this up to the top, off the floor, and I plug my pumps into here for my mixing container, which is just here. We're just using the TMC 50 gallons per day, or 42 litres UK litres on the reverse osmosis, with 2 deionized membranes on top to polish that water to 0 TDS. If you've liked this video today, please give it a thumbs up and like. As I said, day-to-day running of the tank. We are feeding frozen food as well, just FYI, on mysis and brine shrimp mainly. That gets fed daily to the tank. There's 7 fish in here. They're all doing very well. Apart from that, guys, that's it. But this is what's involved, some of the things that I have to buy each time to make this tank run. So you can do it on the cheap. You don't have to have all of these things, but just be prepared that you'll be doing either more water changes if you don't buy these things, like elements for trace elements, minor elements, or you're not gonna, you're not gonna buy any ROAFOS or carbon. Then you know that your system may see more darker tinges in the water because you're not doing as many water changes. So it's something to take in mind. You can run different systems on how you want. There's not one way of doing it, but this is how I'm doing things, and this is the way I've always done it. So for me, this is working well for now, and I finally got this system to where I want it to be. We've got a few more corals coming at the end of the week. Yes, they're albies and gonnies. I think they're actually gonnies, and they're beautiful colors, an orange one and a pink one with yellow heads. So I'm really looking forward to that. Potentially most of the time I'm going for small frags just because they're cheaper, and I want the system to grow out in its own time. I'm not rushing the system, and I want to plan for what's going in the system. Let me know if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.